because her friend was trying to get directions. So they get in after being real rude to me. And then our landlord calls us and was like, hey, we think your people are having a party. I'm like, oh my gosh. Started Airbnb, I was using this one platform to like price my property, and it was a 1 bed 1 bath, and for some reason it kept me between like $70 and $90 a night. But I knew that I could get more for it because although I didn't have a 2-bedroom, but my 2-bedroom competitors were getting like $150 to $200 a night, right? But here's the thing, for this system that I was using, every time I put my price above like 120, it was like, warning, don't do this, you won't get booked, yada yada. So I was like, forget you, I'm gonna just turn you off, raise my prices on my own, do my own pricing. But the unexpected happened. I expected to get booked, which I did. I got booked at between $180 and $200 a night, but my guests stopped messaging me. And at first I was like, did I change something? Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, did I do something? But actually what I realized is one day I honestly accidentally lowered the price too low, and then I got more complaints. And it was from that point that I realized on Airbnb, if you book too low, you will get guests who are nightmare guests and who complain about everything. You honestly have to price just right on Airbnb. So that friend who gets all those nightmare guests on Airbnb and has parties and this story, that story of this guest who did this and this story, this guest who did that, tell them that Kierra said they need to go ahead and raise their prices, okay? I personally use Price Labs. Price Labs has been a lifesaver for me. Okay, let me back up. Airbnb has their own pricing called Airbnb Smart Pricing. For me, I don't like smart pricing. Like, for example, if you put like Airbnb forces you to put a minimum price, and if you don't, it will drop your price so low. And that's the only reason I don't like Airbnb smart pricing, like their pricing system that they have in their system. So I personally use Price Labs. And what I like about Price Labs is you can put a base price, but it won't go it makes sure not to go too low so that you're not making money, you know? There's also other benefits of Price Labs. For example, let's say Christmas is 3 months out. Someone's trying to book the 24th to the 25th only, right? It's like, oh yeah, I kind of need those days because I know people will book for longer. You don't want like your best days, you know, messing up that week that you could have gotten. So for me, I personally have a rule set where if someone books too far out, they gotta book at least 5 of those days at like a certain rate. I think at 60 days, once it's 60 days out, they have to book 5 days. And then also for your friend, I guess, nightmare guest, to give you an idea, my husband and I have only gotten 1 nightmare guest out of, I'm sure we've had over 500 bookings in the past 3.5 years. We have a lot of units. That 1 nightmare guest we had happened during the Houston freeze. If you were watching the news, you would have known Houston had a big freeze in the beginning of February 2021, I think, or March, something like that. And the entire city shut down, no electricity, no water, yada, yada. Our property that we had happened to have power. It didn't have water like that, but it had power. It was like one of the only properties on Airbnb. So we had hundreds of messages. I think it ended up being 183 because I counted, of people asking us, oh my God, like, does your water work? We're just checking before we book, because people wanted to book a property. So this one person, like, we took off all of our, like, our safety, not safety features, but all of our checks, because we knew it was a time of need. It was an emergency. So we turned off all of our needs. We're like, you know, if you need to stay here, let us know. You can stay. It was at a discounted rate. But this one booking came in, and it was like a girl, and I think it said like 3 of her friends. I'm like, okay, cool. Long story short, she gets there and she's like, I can't find the property. I'm like, did you read the check-in directions? In a very nice way. She said, oh no, I didn't know there were any. She reads them. She's still confused. Mind you, we have never had a problem with this property ever with people finding it. But it's because turns out her friend was calling me. Oh, my husband's calling. Hold on. But her friend was calling. Her friend was calling me. I didn't even know if it wasn't her, because her friend was trying to get directions. So they get in after being real rude to me. And then our landlord calls us and was like, hey, we think your people are having a party. I'm like, oh my gosh. They had a party during a freeze. And I think I might have a video. Let me try to scoot this over so I can show it right here. They left it disgusting. Y'all, Houston was shut down. No one had electricity. No one had power. No one had water. No one had anything. It was cold outside. People were dying. But I learned my lesson. I will never, ever, 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 I don't care what it is, I will never not go, follow my systems and my steps. I won't bend my neck for anyone. So there was a hurricane in Louisiana, I want to say a year later, and a lot of the people from New Orleans came to Houston. And this time we had a lot of messages too saying, hey, is it available? Is it available? Is it available for like a lot of our units? A lot of people were getting upset because I told them like, oh yeah, you do have to go through our process, and they were getting really upset. But we did get bookings, and our people were so amazing. The people who did do the verifications and stuff through Airbnb, they understood. Actually, let me know if y'all want a video on how like I verify my guests to make sure we don't get like bad guests and bookings. Now for real, bye.